Hi, thanks for joining us. We're going to read the Easter story from the Jesus Storybook Bible. The story is called The Sun Stops Shining. "So, you're a real king, are you?" the Roman soldiers jeered. "Then you'll need a crown and a robe." They gave Jesus a crown made out of thorns, and put a purple robe on him, and pretended to bow down to him. "Your Majesty," they said. Then they whipped him and spat on him. They didn't understand that this was the Prince of Life, the King of heaven and earth, who had come to rescue them. The soldiers made him a sign, "Our King," and nailed it to a wooden cross. They walked up a hill outside the city. Jesus carried the cross on his back. Jesus had never done anything wrong, but they were going to kill him the way criminals were killed. They nailed Jesus to the cross. "Father, forgive them," Jesus gasped. "They don't understand what they're doing." "You say you've come to rescue us," people shouted, "but you can't even rescue yourself." But they were wrong. Jesus could have rescued himself. A legion of angels would have flown to his side if he'd called. "If you were really the Son of God, you could just climb down off that cross," they said. And of course, they were right. Jesus could have climbed down. Actually, he could have just said a word and made it all stop. Like when he healed that little girl, and stilled the storm, and fed 5,000 people. But Jesus stayed. You see, they didn't understand. It wasn't the nails that kept Jesus there, it was love. "Papa," Jesus cried, frantically searching the sky. "Papa, where are you? Don't leave me." And for the first time, and the last, when he spoke, nothing happened. Just a horrible, endless silence. God didn't answer. He turned away from his boy. Tears rolled down Jesus' face, the face of the one who could wipe every tear from every eye. Even though it was midday, a dreadful darkness covered the face of the earth. The sun could not shine. The earth trembled and quaked. The great mountains shook, rocks split in two, until it seemed that the whole world would break, that creation itself would tear apart. The full force of the storm of God's fierce anger at sin was coming down, on his own Son, instead of his people. It was the only way God could destroy sin and not destroy his children whose hearts were filled with sin. Then Jesus shouted in a loud voice, "It is finished!" And it was. He had done it. Jesus had rescued the whole world. "Father," cried Jesus, "I give you my life." And with a great sigh, he let himself die. Strange clouds and shadows filled the sky, purple, orange, black, like a bruise. Jesus' friends gently carried Jesus. They laid Jesus in a new tomb carved out of rock. How could Jesus die? What had gone wrong? What did it mean? They didn't know anything anymore, except they did know their hearts were breaking. "That's the end of Jesus," the leaders said. But, just to be sure, they sent strong soldiers to guard the tomb. They hauled a huge stone in front of the door to the tomb so that no one could get in or out. Jesus' friends were sad. They would never see their best friend again. How could this happen? Wasn't Jesus the rescuer? The king God had promised? It wasn't supposed to end like this. Yes, but whoever said anything about the end? Just before sunrise, on the third day, God sent an earthquake and an angel from heaven. When the guards saw the angel, they fell down with fright. The angel rolled the huge stone away, sat on top of it, and waited. At the first glimmer of dawn, Mary Magdalene and other women headed to the tomb to wash Jesus' body. The early morning sun slanted through the olive trees, drops of dew glittering on leaves and grasses, little tears everywhere. The friends walked quietly along the hilly path through the olive groves until they reached the tomb, and immediately noticed something odd. It was wide open. They peered through the opening into the dark tomb. But wait, Jesus' body was gone. And something else. A shining man was there, with clothes made from lightning. "Don't be scared," the angel said. But they couldn't help it. They screamed anyway. The angel asked them, "What are you doing here? This is a tomb, and tombs are for dead people." The women couldn't speak. "Jesus isn't dead anymore," he said. "He's alive again." And their hearts leapt. And then the angel laughed with such gladness that they felt for a moment as if they had woken from a nightmare. The other women rushed home, but Mary stayed behind. How could it be true? Jesus was definitely dead. How could he be alive? Just then, Mary heard someone else in the garden. Perhaps it's the gardener, she thought. He'll know where Jesus' body is. I don't know where Jesus is, Mary said urgently. I can't find him. But it was all right. Jesus knew where she was, and he had found her. Mary. Only one person said her name like that. She could hear her heart thumping. She turned around. She could just make out a figure. She shaded her eyes to see and thought she was dreaming. But she wasn't dreaming. She was seeing. Jesus! Mary fell to the ground. Sudden tears filled her eyes, and great sobs shook her whole body. All she wanted in that moment was to cling to Jesus and never let him go. You'll be able to hold on to me later, Mary, Jesus said gently, and always be close to me. But now, go and tell the others that I'm alive. Mary ran and ran all the way to the city. She had never run so fast or so far in all her life. She felt like she could run forever. She didn't even feel like her feet touched the ground. The sun seemed to be dancing and gleaming and bounding across the sky, racing with her and shining brighter than she could ever remember in the clear, fresh air. And it seemed to her that morning, as she ran, almost as if the whole world had been made anew, almost as if the whole world was singing for joy. The trees, tiny sounds in the grass, the birds, her heart. Was God really making everything sad come untrue? Was he making even death come untrue? She couldn't wait to tell Jesus' friends. They wouldn't believe it, she laughed. She was right, of course.
Come on in, Watson! We got some questions for you! Okay. I think we all know why we're here, don't we? That's right! Okay. That's right!
I know how it looks, but I didn't take Jesus' body, okay? All I was doing is that I was guarding the tomb. That's it. But then, all of a sudden, there was this crazy earthquake that came. You know, and an angel appeared, and I fell down because I was scared half to death. You know, and then this woman came up and started talking to the angel, and the angel was saying stuff about, like, Jesus is still alive, and I just thought that wasn't possible. You know, but me and this other guard, Igor, we just decided to get out of there as fast as we could.
Likely story.
You smell that?
I smell
that? That's the Rose of Sharon. Clearly all over his body. Rose of Sharon pollen. Are you allergic? Didn't think so, because your nostrils aren't flaring in the appropriate way that allergic people to Rose of Sharon often do.
That's right! That's right!
What that tells me is that you were clearly in the garden on the night of the said situation that we're discussing.
I admit I was at the tomb, but I'm a guard. I was supposed to be
Write
at
that
the
down,
tomb.
Watson. He admits he was at the tomb.
I was supposed to be at the tomb. That's my job. If I wasn't there, then I would just be a bad guard. But what I can say is that I didn't take Jesus' body. Okay, there was this huge shining light, and all of a sudden, this angel came down. He came and just rolled the tomb like it was nothing. You just pretty much with his finger. You know, I couldn't do that by myself. I could never do that.
Let me see your shoe.
Smells like he stepped in some cow.
I saw this very tread at the foot of the tomb that was empty, in which you took the body and you hid it, is what you're trying to tell us.
That's right!
No,
That's right!
I didn't do that. No.
Was your footprint there or not, sir?
Well, yes, it was, but...
Yes!
But I'm a guard.
right.
I'm
That's right.
supposed to be there.
Guilty!
You also have bags under your eyes that are slightly dark in color, which means that you haven't slept
That's
much.
right.
Because you are playing Fortnite, probably, to try to assuage your own guilt and try to drown out your sorrow through the chicanery of gaming.
That's right!
And if we look at your phone, I'm sure that we'll be able to see that what I have been saying all along is true.
That's right! That's right! Watch us! Jesus is alive! Jesus is alive! You're not guilty! Jesus is alive! Can you believe that? Can you believe that?
I told you I wasn't lying. I was at my post. Everything I've said was true.
Well, this just proves that I was right all along, Watson.
That's right! That's right, he's never wrong!
Ah,
He's never
there
wrong!
wasn't a body in the tomb.
That's right.
what I've been trying to say this whole time, and this guy here with the Silly American shoes didn't understand that.
Of course he did.
Come on, let's go. Let's go see if we can solve any more empty tombs that have been... I don't know if there's any more, is there?
Not that I know.
Okay,
But
yeah,
we'll find them.
I don't think there is. All right, well, very good. Carry on then, jolly good. See you later. Drop my thing here. Oh, what are you going to do here?